speaker. The Student Government Association and Class of 2023 selected a guest speaker who has been in Adams since 1995 when he began his high school career as a freshman here at Annandale High School. He works tirelessly to support our students, families, and school community in the Student Services Office and on the field as a football coach, as well as throughout the community as a mentor. During passing time and at lunch, his desk is often crowded with students who stop by to say hello, share happy news, and ask advice. This person has made a tremendous positive impact on Annandale. I am honored to introduce Jawad Abdul Hadi. Mr. Abdul Hadi graduated from Annandale High School in 1999 as a student at Annandale. He played football and soccer. He attended Northern Virginia Community College, then got a job working as a security technician with a private company, which gave him the opportunity to travel the country. In 2011, he returned to Annandale High School as an instructional assistant for students receiving special education services. A few years later, he transferred to Student Services as an office assistant, where he continues to support students and families. Please join me in welcoming Jawad Abdul Hadi to the stage.
Thank you, Grace. Hello, everyone. 24 years ago, I was sitting in Constitution Hall at Annandale High School's graduation with the class of 1999. And if the dude sitting next to me said that one day I would be the guest speaker in my alma mater, I would have asked him if he had hit his head. But here I am up on the stage. My name is Jawad Abdul Hadi. I'm a proud graduate of Annandale High School. Like I said, I never dreamt that I would be up here. But thanks to you all, I have this opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, how many people can say they have delivered a commencement address? So first of all, thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023. My story is like many of yours. I was born outside the United States in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. As a kid, I lived with my mother, 3 brothers, and 3 sisters. To provide for the 7 of us, my father had worked abroad for most of my life, so my mother was our sole caretaker. When I was 10 years old, she passed away suddenly, which left me and my siblings on our own. At the time, my oldest brother had just moved to the United States to find work. That meant that my 2 older siblings, who were just teenagers themselves, were caring for the rest of us. My youngest sister was only 1 at the time. As soon as he was able, my father returned to Addis Ababa to arrange for our care. He decided that the best thing to do was send as many of us as he could to the U.S. to live with my oldest brother. But that meant that we had to split up the family. Within weeks of losing my mother, I was on a plane to a new country, leaving everything I knew behind. When we arrived, my sisters and I moved into my brother's 2-bedroom apartment in Annandale. One of my earliest memories of school in the United States was at Holmes Middle School. On my first day of school, probably like most of you, I was excited and nervous. The night before, I prepared my outfit for the first day. I had picked out a pair of green jeans to go with my red Michael Jackson Beat It jacket. You know, the one with all the zippers all over it. I was sure I would be one of the coolest guys in school. And when I got to school, I immediately discovered that I was not. But despite my questionable fashion choices, I did make some friends. While my clothes didn't fit in, what I discovered that day was that I did. I saw in the faces of other students stories like mine at Holmes and later at Annandale. I met incredible people from all over the world. These people make up what we call Adam Nation. As I settled into a routine of school in the U.S., I slowly began to realize what a special place I had landed. The diversity of this community brought me great comfort at a time in my life when I really needed it. It was comforting to see so many people from so many different places, caring for each other, accepting those who are different from them, and seeing value in those differences. I truly felt like I belonged. After 3 years, I moved on to Annandale High School and found that same sense of belonging. I quickly made new friends, and somehow I ended up on the practice fields every day after school. Not having any idea what I was getting myself into, I joined the freshman football team. In my country, I had played lots of sports, so being on the field was a comfort to me. My teammates, the coaches, they all welcomed me. Once again, I had found a place in this country where I belong. I was so excited for my first game. The day before, the coach was going around telling each player that if they wanted to play, they would have to have a physical. Back then, they allowed you to practice for weeks without a physical. I had no idea I needed one. So I took the form home to my brother and asked him for the $60 fee. As a teenager, I didn't realize that $60 was not a fathomable expense for my 20-something brother, who was supporting 3 siblings. It turned out that I had to quit football my freshman year. By spring, I was able to get my physical, and I joined the soccer team. The following fall, I became an official member of the Annandale Adams football team. Yeah. Once again, I was surrounded by a great group. The team environment in the locker room was not that different from the environment in our classrooms. Whether you were born outside the United States or you were born right here at Annandale Hospital, we all were welcomed and accepted. We all belonged. I remember those long hours of practice, going home tired to finish that last homework assignment before bed. But I felt lucky. Not all my classmates had the opportunity to get involved in extracurricular activities. Some of them, just like many of you, had to work to help support their families. Others were able to join sports teams, but faced different kinds of challenges. Finding rides to practices or riding a 29K bus up Little River Turnpike to get to events. Others played games without any family members to cheer along in the stands. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you may have shared these challenges, and some of you may have experienced different kinds of obstacles. All of you started your high school career with a pandemic. You know what it means to adapt. It has been an incredible journey for you. You made sacrifices, you put in the work, and it paid off. You are here today. Well, I was fortunate in many ways. It still wasn't easy to accomplish my goals. But what made it possible were the people around me. The teachers who made me feel comfortable and welcome, who pushed me academically. The coaches and role models who taught me discipline and hard work, to give my best and to take pride in anything I did. And the friends who cared about and supported me. Some of them are actually here today. I was lucky to have all these people in my life. One of those people was Coach Adams, who was tough and hardworking himself. He was a big guy with a big voice. He had a quick smile, but when he wanted to, he could intimidate the toughest ones out there. He challenged me, the whole team really. He gave us tremendous opportunities, but there were no freebies. We worked for what we got. If you couldn't afford camp, you worked around school to pay for it. But he made sure everyone had the opportunity to go. Coach Adams recognized in me the drive and determination to succeed. And by my senior year, I was a leader on the team. Some colleges were sending me letters, inviting me to play for them, so I started filling out college applications, just like my friends were doing. That's when I realized that you need a green card to go to college. And I didn't have one. It was like I was back in my freshman year, ready for that big game, but without the proper paperwork. So once again, I reached out to the people around me. Coach Adams helped me start the process, and he even sponsored me for a green card, which meant that I had to start working for his landscaping company, Neighborhood Services, NS. Y'all know NS. I spent long, hot days cutting grass, spreading mulch, and blowing leaves. I can't tell you how many times I wrote my resignation letter in my head as I was mowing a lawn. But I didn't quit. I remembered my classmates who didn't have the opportunity to play sports. Instead of working to pay for their summer camp, they were working to put food on the table. I would remind myself to appreciate what I have and keep a positive outlook. Halfway into my senior year, my brother moved to Alexandria. If I had gone with him, I would have to leave Annandale and go to a new school. Once again, it was like I was back in freshman year. My dreams were right in front of me, but just out of reach. There was no way I wanted to leave the community here at Annandale. And once again, the people surrounding me opened their doors, literally. The Demetrius family, whose son I played football with, took me in as their own. I lived with them while I finished my green card application and earned my high school diploma. I wanted to give back to the community which had given me so much. Once I had my green card and was able to work, I reached out to Coach Scott to see about coaching here at Annandale. He immediately marched me down to the principal's office and got me a coaching gig and a job in the building as an instructional assistant in the special education department. In both of these roles and the several others I've held in the years since, I've had the opportunity to mentor student athletes and build lifetime connections with so many of you. It's always been really important to me to show appreciation to those who have helped me get to this point in my life. So I want to thank all of my teachers, coaches, mentors, and family for making my story possible. You know, Coach Scott and I often go through the record books. I always take the opportunity to remind him that I'm the first African-born starting quarterback for the mighty Adams. And now, thanks to the class of 2023, to all of you, I can add first Ethiopian-born commencement speaker to that list. So thank you for asking me to share my story today. To this class, I have 3 pieces of advice. First, appreciate what you have, especially the people around you. Second, there is a saying, hard work works, and it's absolutely true. There's no substitute for hard work. And finally, when you need it, ask for help. And when you're asked for help, give it. Lift yourself and lift others. Life is not easy. We all face challenges. You're going to have the highest of highs. You're going to have the lowest of lows. But when it's all said and done, those who work hard to achieve their goals and appreciate those around them will be the most successful and the happiest along the way. Oh, and one last thing. Today is also a special day for your parents and your family members. Let them take as many pictures as they want. Take those awkward selfies with them. They deserve it. Thank you, Adam Nation, and once again, congratulations to the class of 2023.
Come on, guys, let's give a round of applause for Jawad Abdul-Hadi. What a thoughtful speech. You know, it has been my pleasure to work with Jawad and Mr. Abdul-Hadi really these past 3 years. And for those of you who don't know, all of his interactions with our students, our staff, our community members, he captures the heart. And hopefully you saw that in his speech of what makes Adam Nation such a special place. As he shared, every one of us carries a story, and our stories make who we are and shape who we will become. And for me personally, his speech reminds me just how thankful I am, and we all should be, to be part of Adam Nation. So again, Jawad, amazing job. at this time, we'd like to recognize those students who are entering the military service after graduation or college by asking you to stand at this time. In addition, we would be honored if all active duty, retired, or former military service members in attendance today would also join our military-bound graduates. Please stand. Thank you, and thank you for your service. Next, it is my pleasure to present the Faculty Award. This award is often considered the highest